Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Eerie Tales with Donna and Michael. And Michael is with us. She just stepped out of camera for a second while she cleaned up the mess of her cat. This month we have Misty and Mary Ann Cahal. When the Cahal. So, ladies, you want to introduce yourselves? Well,
I'm
I know I did.
Marianne.
Give me a little bit
Yeah,
about.
Marianne Cahal.
Yeah,
And I'm Misty. We're the founders of Cahal Crew Paranormal out here in Arizona.
cool. So I know because one of the things people always ask, I don't with this show we're live now, Michael. So I don't really want to do interviews, so to say. I mean, we can ask questions, but basically we want to just talk about some of the experiences that we've had. And I know you sent me one picture. You said it was from your first investigation. Is that what it was, Misty?
Yeah, it was our very first residential investigation.
Okay, I'm gonna bring that up right there.
Like
So I
group
want
talk.
So I want to make sure that I'm seeing. Is that somebody standing there, or is that a shadow? What exactly is with this picture of?
So go ahead.
So, kind of a little bit of backstory. So, the lady, it was a residential investigation. Across the way from this room, her husband actually passed away in the room.
Oh,
In
okay,
the room that I was filming, I was actually at the doorway, and all of his possessions are in this room. So,
okay,
in the closet there, it's all of his clothes and his belongings. And so when I was taking a picture, nobody was in there. It was just me on my phone taking pictures into the room. And I saw this entity. I captured it on my camera, and he's facing me. And if you can see it like on the ground, like his feet, it's floating. It's a dark
mhm,
figure. If it was a person, of course, we'd be able to tell that it was a person. This is a dark shadow. When
yeah,
we
that's a
showed it
great image.
to the young lady, she said that is my husband. It was his shape. She showed a picture where he was wearing a ball cap, and it was the shape of the man that I had caught on my camera.
Wow,
Then
that was an awesome catch. That's pretty cool. So, how many residential inspections that you? I keep saying inspection between my job and investigation. I get mixed up. So, um, hey, Debbie Branding's on, guys.
oh,
Let
hey
Oh,
Hi,
Debbie.
hello.
Debbie.
me get that
Hey
picture off of
Debbie.
there. Okay, there we go. Michael, what are you drinking? So, yeah, I mean, have you done quite a few of them? I know you guys have done residentials.
15 or 20, let's say, right?
Yeah, we've done a few, quite a few.
I
Yeah,
think when we first started out, we had more like residential than we were going places and doing investigations at like haunted locations. We were more doing residential at first.
yeah,
And then once we started getting more people in our group and our kids kind of did their own thing, when we had more equipment and stuff like that, then that's when we started going out and investigating different locations that were also supposed to be haunted to see. And we were doing graveyards and different things like that. But we did start with residential.
yeah. Well, that's cool. What was, get off of there. I remember when I went out to the park with you guys, that was crazy. I don't remember the name of the park, but that was the first time I had met with you guys when I went out with you. And Colleen was there and she was
Oh
kind of,
yeah, yeah.
you remember
So that
that?
was the one about the dad that had killed his two little girls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
in the car, and they thought initially they had just passed away, but he had set it up to look like they had passed in the car when he actually killed them.
Hmm. Yeah, that one was crazy. So you guys have
Yeah.
an all female crew. So what made you go with an all female crew?
We tried bringing in a guy a couple of times, and it just never worked out.
Yeah.
The energy was not right. The guy that we tried to bring in tried to take over the group.
Oh wow.
I mean, literally tried to
Yeah.
take over.
Well, I kind of feel like,
It wasn't me.
yeah, no, it wasn't you, Michael. You're good. Yeah, it's just crazy, like the energy. It's just you have to connect with the people that you're working with because, the energy within the group has a lot to do on how your investigations are going to go, I believe.
It's true.
And
Yeah.
if you have a good energy and relationship with the people that you're with, and that's going to provide the base and the foundation that you need for a good investigation.
Very true. Because that's when we put
Spirit.
people. like on a
true.
kind of like on a 6 month probation and give them a chance to work with everybody and see if there's a
Mhm.
consensus of whether that person's going to be a good fit or not.
Yes, absolutely. It's not that we're
Hmm.
against having guys in our group. It's just the kind of the way that it's worked out,
Yeah.
and the
Well,
people that we work with now. Because you're with them a lot, so they're your family. They're not just a paranormal group or just people
right.
getting together with that have the same hobbies. I mean, they're pretty much your family because you spend as much time with them as you do with your family. So
Yeah.
you really have to have that cohesiveness with each other and be able to talk and communicate and have that trust and build that bond.
Right. Exactly. You were going to
Hmm.
say something, Mike. What were you going to say? I didn't mean to cut
Oh
you off.
no, I said, it's so important. I remember when I first met Donna, it was right off the bat. We
Yep.
knew, we knew, and I think that investigations are so dependent upon the spirits know when you don't like or like each other, and they'll come through or they won't come through.
Yep.
It's like they're doing us a courtesy. It's like, okay, y'all are fighting. I'm not gonna come talk to you if you guys are fighting. Like,
Right.
Right.
you
Yeah.
Fight
know, it's like,
yourself.
is
Yeah.
anybody here? Yeah, we're here, but we're not gonna talk. So screw you. We're just gonna sit and watch you guys suffer.
Yeah, exactly. Just like we can feel their energy, they can feel our energy.
Absolutely, they
Exactly.
can.
And
Yes.
that's
Some
why the
people don't
biggest thing is when we go in there to investigations, we're very respectful. I always
Exactly.
believe whether it's in the present or the past, somebody who's passed on is you treat others how you want to be treated. And I know if I've passed and somebody's wanting to talk to me, even though I'm not in the physical world, I'm still here and present
Right.
and want to be respected. That's what I would think I would feel. So I give them that kind of courtesy. And Donna's seen that when you both of you, Michael too, when you guys have gone
Right.
out with us, you're like, oh, thank you for that. And I try to be respectful to them because there's no need to be rude or mean or try to get
Yeah.
them mad to like throw
Exactly.
things or like hurt you. That's not why we do this. It's not a show. We're there to find out why they're there, how we can help them, whether it's just to get, like, if they want us to hear them, if they need answers, if they want to contact family, if they're wanting to move on. I mean, we just want to know why they're still here, and what
Right.
it is that they have to say.
We
Because a
become
lot of
their
times,
voice.
yeah,
We
Right.
become their
exactly.
Hmm.
voice. And
And
that's
not
why
know,
I get so frustrated with some of these shows out there
yeah,
that certain shows,
Yeah.
like, dude.
yeah.
Want to antagonize it. It's like it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah. Going in guns blazing and screaming and yelling and carrying
Yeah.
on and
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
yeah. You don't
Yeah.
need to do that to talk to them.
Exactly. You have to be respectful. So, Marianne, are you a sensitive or you're actually a medium?
I'm a sensitive.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, like, when I
Huge,
go in there,
huge sensitive, I might add.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I go to the graveyards, my big thing, for some reason, I'm attracted to like babies. So when I go to the graveyards and I have babies, I get very emotional and I get
Hmm.
very overwhelmed because they have a lot of feelings and a lot of them, they're just not too sure like what's going on. Like, why aren't they with their parents? Like, where are they
Right.
at? Like, they're just sad. So a lot of times, like, I feel they're crying, they're upset. And so I get really overwhelmed and then I start crying. And then, Colin's like, oh my gosh, Maria's crying. And then everybody tries to comfort me, but I'm just feeling, how they're feeling.
It's
And
Right.
sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming, and I just talk
It
to them like
is.
I would talk to my own kids,
Yeah.
that I
That
love them and I care for them.
it, it happened to me when we were in Clifton. We went over to the
Yeah.
Clifton cemetery, and I was fine in one section of the cemetery, but when I got to the kids section, I just, like I said, I got overwhelmed. I got
Mhm.
nauseous. My head started hurting. It was just so much just came on
Yeah.
me. I was like, I can't do this. I gotta go. And I actually had to have my sister drive because I couldn't even drive the car. I just felt,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it was just crazy. So obviously you understand. But I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so that was weird. But that
You
was
were in my spot.
I was I was yeah, that was like because I know people have told me I was sensitive, but that was like the
Yeah.
first real interaction that I had that I felt that, that much. So yeah, that was
Yeah.
just crazy to me. But yeah, Clifton was an interesting place.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Going there a couple different times. Like we like going there. Like, and I think
Yeah.
like when you go to places too, the more you go back, then the entities or spirits start to get used to you and familiar with
Yeah,
you, and then you'll start getting more activity. I kind of noticed
yeah.
that when we go to the Ocotillo Cemetery. So initially at
Mhm.
first we didn't get a whole lot, and then the second, the third, the fourth time we went back, the spirits know us. They get used to us. They know how that we talk to them and how we work and how we work together. And so it's really, really interesting to see the more we go back, the kind of activity that we get with these different entities.
Yeah, I think that happens because I go to Gleason so much. I think that happens because when we last time we were in Gleason, we got so much audio. We got
Yeah.
so many interaction, especially through the portal. It was just crazy. I had never got that much activity before. I even actually had a spirit ask me through the portal, "Do I know you?" Because I kept calling her.
I don't
Yeah.
think so, but we can.
Yeah, I kept calling her by name because her name was on the headstone. Obviously, it was like, "Do I know you?" Yeah, that was hilarious. But I haven't been to Ocotillo with you guys. One of these days, I'll go out there.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
But I,
should.
definitely.
It's a lot of fun.
yeah, yeah.
We've got
So
Johnny out there who likes to dance.
Yeah, we dance and drink with Johnny and have the cat ball going, and we have Mexican music playing, and you'll see me in one of my videos. I'm all just shaking my little booty for him and stuff. And the last time we went out
funny.
there, like he told me to take off my clothes, so I was like, no, we're not doing that.
Like, I'm gonna do.
He got a little too excited about my booty shakes.
See, that's another thing I want to know. Why?
Don't say it.
Okay.
Don't say it. I know what she's gonna say. That's what I'm saying. Why did have you never seen her naked ghost? I know that's exactly what she was gonna say.
Yep. That's what I was gonna
I
say.
think in the afterlife, they just whatever, however they die is what they're in.
Whatever you
So
Yeah,
said.
like
but
us
most people
women,
they die
naked.
naked. Like most die naked. I mean, or in the hospital, or with a gown on, but you don't see them in a hospital gown. They're like wearing full on, their whatever clothes whatever, or maybe they were buried in them. But it's like
Yeah.
my mom, um, she comes through as a gold mist. She presents herself as a gold mist.
Wow.
Um,
That's
so it's I don't know. It's just weird. That whole veil and the supernatural is just very. That's why I love this stuff because it's never the same thing twice. We always get different evidence. We always get different interactions.
Yep.
Some
Mhm.
funny, some like irritating at times. Um,
You, you know what's crazy is our equipment acts different too. Like a little
Yeah.
boo, he'll say more stuff at one place and be very talkative, my little boo bear. And then other
Oh
places
yeah,
he won't
I've
say
seen
anything
that.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Matt, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Matt.
Hi Matt.
Yeah, I've seen your little Boo Bear. He's cute because when we were in Gleason, you had him, and yeah,
Yeah.
that works really well. So, what is one of your favorite places to go to? Is it Ocotillo or is it someplace else?
See, the Ocotillo is a really good place to go. We do like going there, and we have gone there quite a few different times. But of course, we love Clifton,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Clifton
Oh
is the
yeah.
place where we can, roam around, and we know the lady that runs the place and stuff, and we just have free range of everything, and we love it. Absolutely love
Yeah.
it. We've
Yeah.
gone back there a couple times, and I want to go back again, actually. So
Yep.
I want to go back too. So if you guys actually plan it, I
yeah,
want to go.
Oh,
yeah, for sure.
definitely.
Yeah, we're gonna have to plan a trip because I want to go back to Clifton.
Yeah.
what what is on your bucket list? Anywhere in the world, what's on your bucket list?
You know where I want to go.
Where?
In Colorado, I want to go to
Oh, she wants to go to the Stanley Hotel.
I
What's
want to
with the
go to
Stanley
Stanley.
Hotel? I don't think I've
Kind of
heard of it.
overrated, to be
The
honest.
Shining, where the Shining, he
Oh, okay.
It actually
the
wasn't filmed there. Just so
No, it wasn't.
but it was it based off of there?
Yeah, it was based off the
Yeah.
Stanley Hotel.
Okay,
yeah.
that's that one.
Honestly, I really don't know because there's just so many places.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
Yeah,
I'd love to go to Scotland and investigate a castle.
yeah,
Go
that would
old
be cool.
That would be really
Or
cool.
get
go to
those
London, the underground, where they
yeah,
go in
the
those tunnels and
elementals out
stuff.
there. Yeah.
I would want to go underground. That would be
Oh
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I got asked that question on the 5th when I was on. I never get his podcast right. It's NS something TV with Terry, and he asked me that question, and he said because I told him I wanted to go to, um, not Gate. What's it? What is it? I can't think of it right now.
Transylvania, Transallegheny.
Gate. There you go. And he asked me. He's like, he's asked that question to a lot of people, and this one dog stepping on me. And he said that nobody ever says that they would like to go to Africa. I'm like, that's actually pretty good. It's like, no, I never thought about it because, the
Yeah.
birthplace. I wish you guys could
Yeah.
see this dog right now. What? He's got his head like right in between my boobs and he's looking at me. Virgil, go. Go. Go.
That's really funny.
Oh my God, too funny. So have you ever visited that museum in Vegas? I don't want to say his name, but with the haunted
Yes.
Yes,
items.
we have.
We don't talk about
Yeah.
Bruno.
Because I want to next time I'm not crazy about that person. I do want to see the stuff that's in there. So next time
Yeah,
I
no,
go
it's
to
really
Vegas,
cool.
No,
We've
it is
been.
really cool.
Yeah.
that's what I heard.
We did the RIP tour, and we got to go a couple of extra places.
Oh,
And we
cool.
got to go through. We had to crawl through this passageway tunnel kind of thing, and
Mhm.
it was pitch black in
Wow.
there. You
It's
could not
cool.
see your hand in front of your
It's
face.
really
Wow.
And I
Wow.
by the I mean I'm crawling and I'm like, oh my God, where's the end? Where's the end? I'm starting to freak out here.
cool.
Third
This is
cousin used to
good.
work at Transallegheny. It was called the Western Hospital. Crazy shit. Oh, well, that's cool. I bet that was interesting to work there.
Wow, Matthew. Yeah.
Wow. Um,
London.
yeah, that would be crazy. People think I'm crazy anyway to do this, but yeah. Because I was gonna tell you guys how me and Michael, man, we met up at this place called the Dive Bar.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, was it through Facebook that you hit me up? I think it was.
Yeah.
And we went
Because
to
you're
this place.
looking for a team member. Yeah.
We met
And
at
then
the
you found
dive.
out I was a medium, and then yeah,
So
your
yeah,
mom came through, and yeah, it just was instant.
we hit it off right away. But anyway, who's that? Hey, auntie, whose niece is that?
Oh, that's mine.
Oh,
I mean, not like oh, that's mine. Like I didn't have.
well, thank you
Hi,
for joining us.
Marissa.
Marissa.
Yeah, she she hears my stories of my. She's had a few things growing up too. When she was littler, she was kind of sensitive and knew when spirits and grandmas were around and stuff.
Yeah. So, what got you guys, Misty and Marianne? What got you guys interested in the paranormal?
I've been interested in it since
I
I
think
was
they
very
froze. Did I
young.
freeze or did they freeze?
We're here.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
you're.
I think I froze. I'm sorry. Would you
No,
say it?
I got interested in it when I was very young. I saw my first ghost when I was about 5, maybe 6.
Oh
Oh
wow.
wow.
And yeah, so after that, as soon as I learned to read, I started going to the school library. And I want to say I was probably in it was 4th to 6th grade. And the school library had a phenomenal section on paranormal stuff. So I was able to start reading about it at that age. And then my
Oh,
interest just kind of grew as the years went on. But Marianne has a hell of a story.
Uh-huh.
oh yeah. Tell it, please.
So I guess why we kind of really got into things is because we had an apartment that was haunted. We were living with some roommates and had a lot of friction. So we were constantly fighting and stuff like that. The place that we lived at, we found out was Hoka Mound. So there's a lot of activity initially, and then we were by water, and then next door, like somebody had passed away at one point, and so like we're having all this friction and had a party, and so little things started happening, like remotes started coming up missing, and we were making margaritas one day, and then the lid just happened to disappear. Don't know where it went. It showed up
Oh
a couple
wow.
weeks later. So just like little things at first. Um, and then in my bed, in our bedroom, there was a lot of activity. We actually didn't know why, but when I was going to sleep, I kept on feeling like somebody was watching me. I was like, somebody's watching me, babe. I don't know what's happening. I feel like somebody's touching me. Like it was just weird stuff that was happening in our bedroom. And so Missy had found this website where it would record, or we would be on live feed 24/7. And so while we were at work and stuff, people could view our room and see the activity. And so they
Yeah.
would see like the different entities like playing with our cat. They would see them in our beads, like by our door. They would have like pictures of faces. We would
Oh
be
wow.
like, by our computer, and then we'd see like little girl and boy entity, like um, just the shape of them. So they would send us pictures. So I was laying in bed one night, and I told Missy, okay, you have to lay on my side because there's something going on. I'm like being touched. I don't like this. And I was feeling like I was absolutely crazy. So I went to her side of the bed and she went on mine and she was like, yeah, I kind of feel like I'm being touched and there's something over here on this side. So we ended up going to sleep and I don't know, I guess it was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I ended up sitting up and I was screaming, but I was still sleeping. And
Oh
Missy was
wow.
shaking me. And I woke up, and I started crying and I told her, I said, babe, something tried to enter my body. And at that time, we had a psychic that sent us a picture of a dark entity that went from Misty's side of the bed, went around where the computer, where the camera is, and it looked into the camera, and you could see one eyeball, but his face was black.
Oh
Wow.
So
wow.
nothing else you could see. Then somebody else had sent us a picture where after I got attacked, the entity was coming from where I was laying, coming back around, and you can see his full torso. You can see the side
Oh
of his body, the hand, and everything
Yep.
leaving. And when I seen that, I freaked out, and I was like, that person, that guy was trying to enter my body. He was trying to get inside of me. Like I had paralysis where I couldn't move for
yeah.
that time that he was trying to enter me. And then I got up and I was just screaming, but I was sleeping and I freaked out. And we went to my family's house and we told my family, and they looked at the camera and the picture and everything, and my sister, because it was hard when people don't really believe you, kind of feel like you're
Right.
crazy. Like, yeah, maybe this is going on, maybe it's not. But then once we showed him the picture, my youngest sister said, Marianne, that's a guy. That's the
Wow.
guy that was trying to enter your body, and she gave me a hug
That's
and stuff.
great.
And that was my validation, that I'm not crazy,
Yeah.
that this happened to me, that this was real, and that's why I do what I do, is because validation is so important for these
Right.
people, because you feel like you're out of control, that you're going crazy, that you're not really dealing with anything, that this is just your mind playing tricks on you, is
Yep.
how you feel until somebody comes and shows you and says, look, this is what I saw. This happened to you, and I know that it happened to you. You're not
Hmm.
alone in this, and that's a huge thing for me. That was a
Right.
huge relief for me,
Yeah.
you know. And so after that,
Wow.
we had paranormal investigators come and they blessed the house and they took pictures. And in one picture, they said there was over 15 different entities in the picture. That
Oh
what's
wow.
going on is we have a portal. We had a portal in our bedroom, and it was kind of like they were crossing the street, a busy street. They were
Yeah.
constantly by my bed, just going back and forth. And so, as they're going back and forth, they're looking at me and they're poking me and they're scaring my dog. And my dog's
Oh
hiding under the
wow.
bed or like cuddling with us, and I'm just like, so I'm not losing my mind. There's all these different entities like invading my space. I didn't feel safe. I was scared, and Missy got mad and she stood on the bed and she started screaming. She's like, you leave my wife alone. Leave her
Wow.
alone. I got touched at one point sexually. I went into
Oh
the
wow.
front room to try to sleep, and I literally saw them come through the wall into the front room where I was because they wanted me.
That's
And at that
crazy.
time, I did not realize that I was a sensitive. I did not realize why they were coming to me. And my mom was like, here's some holy water, like, here's a cross, like, I'm going to bless you. Like, it's like bad that all these things are coming to you. And I didn't know what was happening. And I was
Right.
like, bro, we just have to leave. And so at that point, it just stirred shit up for Misty. And she's like, you know what? We're going to do this. We have to figure this shit out. It just spiked her interest so much. And for like a year and a half, 2 years, I had night terrors every single night. I
Oh
would wake up screaming. And I would like that night, I would sit up and I was screaming and Mr. would have to shake me to wake me up because I'm the type of person I need to be in control of myself, of my life.
right.
And when this happens, I'm not in control of that. I have no control of what they're doing to me because I can't see them.
I know
I can
that's
only
yeah,
feel
that's a
them.
bad feeling. Yeah, that's feeling
Yeah,
helpless
and it
like
was
that.
scary to me. It was overwhelming for me. I didn't know how to deal with any of that.
One thing I want to interject, those that are watching, whatever your belief system is, you know, pagan, whatever, the one prayer that still is so powerful is the Our Father who art in heaven. It doesn't matter what level you're on or what playing field or whatever. It's still, when people, I tell people, if you feel you're out of control, just go to that. Sorry.
Get out my picture.
They both left out.
go
This is my
go to
daughter.
that prayer, and that will comfort you. And a lot of people don't realize that. Sometimes they think they're powerless, but we're the ones in control. We're the living. We have control.
Hmm.
And so I just want to encourage that, those that are watching, if you don't feel validated, feel validated with us, because we're here to tell you that the other side does exist. It's not demonic. If you see, like my aunt still thinks I'm going to hell because I talk to dead people, whatever. Um, but just feel validated. And I've seen people like you get a sense, like that one lady, Mrs. Ong was her name.
Oh, on I think it's AHN or something. Yeah, we that was a
Yeah,
residential we did. Yeah.
she thought she was losing it. There were some things that we kind of debunked, but for the most part, she was valid. No, you're QT. Oh yeah. Sorry, we're getting a quick trip here, so I'm like really excited. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. So yeah.
she lived. Yeah, she lived in South Phoenix. Was that might have been my first residential one? I think was that our first residential together, Michael?
I think so, because that was when, don't tell me anything, and I got the vision of the trees and the statue and the.
No, that was a different one. You're
Oh, that was
talking.
a different
That
one.
was a different one.
Oh, that
So,
was a military guy. That's right.
yeah. So this lady,
Yeah.
she was. So she kept getting voices and stuff through her Google device, her Google Home device or whatever you call it. Um, so she kept getting people was talking to her, and she swears that it was like relatives and just it was just crazy. So she would send me audio. Well, you can hear, screaming in the background that there's all these noises behind this door. But Charles, our tech manager, he figured out that somebody somehow, um, yeah, what did he say, broke into it or whatever. They
Mm.
hacked into her Google device, and
No messing with
but
her. That's
they were
nice.
messing with her
Lovely.
because some of the stuff, because when she played it for me or she sent it to me, I'm like, this sounds like a recording. That doesn't sound, it just sounded weird. So, but we went there and we did discover, or Michael discovered that because her husband had passed away shortly before that, and she had a feeling that he was still in the house. And Michael discovered that he was there. But as far as the Google device, yeah, we debunked that. It was crazy. That's why
And
my
she was making
Wow.
chili wrong too. That was another thing.
she was making this chili roll. So yeah, but because I think Michael was at work that night, and I was telling her about Michael. She was like, "Tell her if she come down, I'll buy pizza."
I did.
she
I went afterward.
she bragged. She bribed Michael to come down there. So that was one of my first residentials. You're
Yeah.
talking about the one. I think it was in Mesa.
Oh,
Um,
the military. Yeah.
yeah, we were. Of course, I don't tell her anything about the location. So when we were driving, she was seeing visions of trees, and she described this statue, a little military man backpack, and just she described it perfectly. She was sitting in front of her. When we get to the house, we see that figurine in his house. I was
Oh
like,
wow.
Oh, wow.
the trees that she saw, he didn't have any trees outside, but he had this big painting of these eerie trees, kind of like the picture behind me. It was just weird. I was like, there are your trees right there. But
Yeah,
we
wow.
there was one, two, I think there was four of us. Was it four or five of us that was there? And we
Yeah.
figured out that he had a portal in his bathroom. What was it? The mirrors or something? Was it in Michael?
Yeah. And
What?
Pretty and I were in there, and we weren't getting anything. I mean, it was just like dead end, dead end, dead end. And intuitively, I think that we concluded that it wasn't haunted, it wasn't this or that. So again, that validation saying that yeah, you're sensing something, but it's not what you think it is. And
Hmm.
like as a medium, when I go to locations or I see things at remote viewing, I never know whether it's like you said, like I'm getting trees, and it was this massive weird painting. I'm like, you need to get rid of that painting.
Yeah. And
That
then
painting was beyond creepy, even
yeah.
for my level of creepiness.
Yeah, well, there was something that they did with the mirrors. What was it? Dragon's blood with the incense and something else that they did in the bathroom, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Around the mirror. But
yeah,
that was interesting. He because he showed me this broken fan. So the fan had flew off the counter and broke and hit the wall or whatever, and it broke. And he was like, "Yeah, there it is. There." So stuff was moving in this house, and yeah, so he was a
Wow.
little freaked out about it. But I didn't hear.
Yeah.
I heard from him once after that. I think I called him to see how it was going, and he said that it had calmed down quite a bit.
Good.
Good.
Yeah, so that was good. I
Yeah.
think that I think that was the second one. So
yeah. I think so.
yeah, I think that was the second one we went to. So that one was interesting. My brother, when you was talking about the night terrors, my brother, not the, my brother went to the hotel in Jerome. Not night terrors. What else you call them? Sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
He had that at the hotel at the Grand Hotel in Jerome, and he had his experience. He couldn't move. He couldn't call out to his wife, and he said it felt like something was was sitting on his chest, and
Mm.
of course it freaked him out. And when he finally came out of it, he woke up his wife and told his wife what was going on, and she didn't sense, she didn't feel or see anything. She didn't even know he was going through that. But he had his own experience, but he is my biggest skeptic. He would tell me, "Don't you can't use a ghost box because people hack into those," and I'm like, so somebody knows at midnight, in the middle of the night, in a cemetery, in the middle of nowhere, to hack my phone.
You have MacGyver up in like hacking your stuff.
And the thing of it is too, when you have an experience, um, they sometimes, and people don't realize that this stuff can be dangerous. We take our lives
Yeah.
into our hands. I remember, where were we, at the Y,
Oh yeah.
where I
The one
was
where we
I
heard the
was
lady
in.
laugh. Is that one?
Well,
That
no,
time?
not the Y. It was American Flag Ranch, where I got the head thing.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, that was no, that was Acadia Ranch.
Acadia Ranch. So I was in what used to be a funeral parlor, and I started getting a massive headache all of a sudden. Go out, and there's this big old lump, like somebody hit me over the head. It was
Oh wow.
reminiscent, like, of Skywalker Ranch, where that guy just got this lump. And so I went to the doctor because I got a massive headache, and he goes, "Well, you've got a concussion. What happened?" I'm like, "I fell."
Oh
She
my
didn't
You
want to
know,
tell
you
God.
you.
can't go to a doctor and say, "I think I got hit over the head by a entity."
Yeah.
They
Absolutely.
So
put you on a
yeah,
72-hour hold.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've taken our daughter out. She's got scratched 2 different times. That residential where it caught that entity, she got scratched that night too.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I would
she's like
encourage
really
you guys
accustomed.
before you go out, and it's also the intent to, I don't know if you do it now, but sage yourself.
Sage,
Sage.
yeah, we do look after, and then we work our,
Oh, good.
crystal stuff. Yeah, but yeah, we tell them, you can't follow us. Like you need to stay here, like all that good stuff. Yeah, so we
Yeah.
try to make sure that they don't come home with us. We don't want
Right.
any.
Exactly, because we be like, look, you got to stay here. You can't come home with us. And like you said, burn the stage.
It's
Yeah.
not the double Dutch bus. You can't be riding on double
Yeah.
Dutch
So I don't
bus.
know if you guys are from Arizona or not, but your first residential, was it here in Arizona?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah. We actually got to investigate a business. It was a Lane Bryant up in North
Oh,
Phoenix.
really?
Wow.
So
Okay.
Tracy is the newest member of our team, and Tracy and I went to high school together.
Oh,
And many years ago, Tracy worked at that Lane Bryant and got us in there to do an investigation.
that's cool.
That is
Yeah,
very
yeah,
cool.
it was really neat.
Wow.
We
So they were
we had
having
pounding
activity
on the
there. Huh?
wall. We had clothing moving on the rack.
Oh, wow.
It killed my IR light. I went to go check on the camera that I'd set up in the back room, and the camera was on, but the
Mhm.
IR light was completely dead.
Oh,
I
wow.
changed the batteries in it. It would not come back on.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
And it's not even just draining the batteries; like they done destroyed
It
it.
totally killed it.
Yeah,
No more
totally. I've
lives
had
for
that
that.
happen. We were at the cemetery in Gleason, and we were in that trailer where the woman was buried in the porch, and
Yeah.
I my audio recorder just died. I'm like, wait a minute, I know the batteries are good ahead, so that died. We were in there another time, and the equipment case slammed closed, and because I was like, well, okay, if you don't want us in here, you let us know. And the freaking door came open. I was like, well, that's our cue.
Yeah.
Like that's our cue. We will take our leave now. So yeah, you can tell that's one of my favorite places to go. And I'm going back on Halloween. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh,
Oh,
No,
nice.
I'm looking forward to, a lot is depending on tomorrow, but
I'm
I'm
hoping
really
she
wanting to get out there.
Yeah,
So
I've always wanted to do an investigation on Halloween. So that's on a Friday. I'm taking off of work.
There you go.
Drive. I'm an hour closer now. I moved out. I'm like an hour from Tucson now, so I'm an hour closer to Tombstone than I was before. 'Cause it was 3 hours before. It's only 2 hours now. So cool.
yep.
But yeah, that's gonna be it.
Yeah,
You
no,
guys
that'd
are
be a
welcome.
good place to go.
I'm taking some friends out there, so it's not a team investigation. But hey, you're welcome to join me if you want.
Thanks.
Yeah, they came out with me before, and then last
yeah.
time I took some different friends out there, and Christy was like, "I don't want to go to Bigfoot's trailer." I was like, okay, she's like, "No, that place is creepy enough during the daytime, but at night it's
Oh,
even worse."
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she
Yeah, it is
refused.
creepy out there.
Yeah, she refused
It's
to
a
go.
good place to go for sure. We've been there twice, so yeah, it's pretty good place to go out there and find activity.
So, what did you guys think of the Terror Trader?
Oh man, that place was really
It was
cool.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it was
Yeah.
really good. The doll was like crazy, but
Donna, yeah.
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 yeah. I saw it before he put it on display. It was still in the back room in that glass case, so he wasn't on display yet. But yeah, it's a pretty cool place.
Yeah, for sure. We got some good activity there.
Yeah,
For sure.
I've got to get our episode made. I'm still working on part 2 of the Omen House investigation, and
Is
then
that
I've
the
got
one
to
that's in
work on the
California?
Terror Trader. Huh?
Is that the one that was in California you went to?
Beverly
Yes,
Hills.
yes. David Oman's house in Beverly Hills,
Yeah,
California. Yes.
yeah. I hate that I couldn't
That was
go to
crazy.
that one.
Some crazy activity there. The dead bell kept on going off and stuff, and that was really cool. Got a lot of activity there.
Yes.
Felt a lot of stuff there.
Yes.
The figurines were like falling down off the shelf and stuff,
Oh
and
wow.
it
Wow.
was crazy. Yeah, we just bunch
Yeah,
of stuff
one of them
happening.
fell. He had Beetlejuice figurines up on
Mhm.
this aquarium, and the Beetlejuice fell off right in front of me, and it broke into two pieces on the floor,
Oh
and I had to put
wow.
him back together again. Yeah, I was like, "What are you doing breaking Beetlejuice? Come on now."
Yeah, it was
You
really
Oh,
didn't
but
do
cool.
anything
Part one is up on the Paranormal Family channel now for everybody to
yeah,
view, and then
that is.
I'm going to be working on part two.
How
Waiting
long
for
were you
the
guys
dead bell start going on. A couple hours,
Yeah, we were there for a
three,
few hours. Yeah,
three and a
Oh,
half hours.
we didn't spend the night there or anything.
Mm.
oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was wondering
Yeah,
because it was such a drive to go out there. It took you what?
yeah,
Yeah, no, we stayed in LA, and
yeah.
Colleen had a lot of fun out there in LA at her hotel. They had some big like riot or something outside of her hotel,
Oh
and all
wow.
these people were trying to get into the hotel. They barely got out of the hotel to get to David's house.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Hey Roxanne, long time no see. She was I met her one night coming from Oracle, I think it was. We were leaving American Flag, and we stopped in that Circle K there, and I had on a T-shirt that says "Ghost Hunter," and she was like, "Are you with the?" I was like, "No, I am a ghost hunter." She goes, "I love that shit."
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Globe. That's right. Globe.
Oh,
Globe,
in
right?
Globe. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
born and raised in Globe. I lived in Globe.
Oh, were you?
Our property is actually haunted. We went
Oh
there and did
wow.
an investigation, and my daughter got scratched there too.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, so I lived on Globe Street. I don't know if you know where that's at, but yeah,
I didn't know that.
I
That's what I
lived
said. I didn't
there.
know if you
Yep,
guys were from Arizona or
I
not.
I
yep.
think
Was
I gave
born and raised in Globe.
Roxana a mini reading that day too.
I don't know. It was like 3 in the morning. It was
It
really,
was
really
crazy. Yeah.
yeah.
We
I don't
always
know.
have to stop at a Circle K. I don't know what it is about Circle K's, but
We always stop for gas and snacks at Circle K.
Well, they're always open. A lot of the other places are closed, especially in Globe. There's not much going on there, so Circle K it is. You
Exactly.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't
Exactly.
have a
So,
QT down there.
what do you guys have coming up? Anything?
We're helping a family out in Maricopa right now. It's an elderly couple.
Oh, yeah, that's one I wanted to ask you about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're a little bit older. They're in their late 60s, early 70s, and they got a hold of me through our Craigslist ad,
Oh, oh,
and they had another team out there prior to this. They were out there like 3 or 4 times, and they did get evidence. However, they have not come back. So they contacted us, and we did go out and do a preliminary investigation. And Colleen was there with us, and she was able to determine that it's two Native American spirits that are just kind of going rogue on their own right now.
oh,
They
oh,
are
wow.
from the Hohokam tribe, which no longer exists. So we're kind of trying to figure out what we're going to do to handle this situation now, because getting rid of them is not an option.
Yeah.
right.
So trying
I'm part of the
to,
land.
yeah, they're part of the land, and
Right.
trying to bridge the gap between the new homeowners and the spirits is the challenge that we face right now. So
Wow.
we're going to be bringing in a medicine man, and we're going to have him do a blessing, and we're going to try to see if we can come to some kind of resolution for these folks.
Yeah,
So,
let us know if we can be of help.
where do you find a medicine man?
Colleen has somebody
Oh, she knows
that she's
somebody.
contacted. Yes.
Oh, you're in Tucson now. Well, cool, because I'm only an hour from Tucson. You should go out with me sometime, Roxanne. Yeah, she was pretty cool. But sometimes you meet people in the strangest times and
Yeah,
places.
we went and got barbecue down here on Country Club, and the lady, we were wearing our shirts, or we were both wearing our shirts. We're getting ready to go on investigation, and we saw a lady had a little itty bitty dog, and they were both working back there. Was the cook and then the waitress, and we sat down and started eating, and they're like, "Can we talk to you?" And so they like came and sat with us, and nobody was in the restaurant, and they're like, "We want to know all about this. I think my apartment's haunted, and I really just want to talk to your guys and get your guys' advice and stuff." And so I think it's funny kind of when you go out, because there are so many people that are interested in the paranormal. And when we go out in our shirts and stuff, like, yeah, hey, like, we'll talk to you. Like, do you have any questions? Or here's our card. You need us to come out and investigate your house. Like, we'll go. Like, it's cool. Like, whatever. I think it's just interesting how people are so like, oh, hey, you're a ghost hunter. Like, let me talk to you for a minute.
Yeah.
I was at this SELA concert. SELA stands for Code Enforcement League of Arizona. And like once or twice a year they put on this conference. I was at this conference one year, and matter of fact, it was held here, and it was in Phoenix. And one the presenter, he said he had people introducing themselves, and he said, "Tell us something about you that we don't know." And I told him I was a paranormal investigator. They were like, "Really?" And then on our break, one of the guys, I think he works for the city of Chandler, he actually approached me. He was like, "You really a paranormal investigator?" I said, "Yeah." He was like, "I think my parents' house was haunted." And we started talking, so it was hilarious. And at the meeting, I think a year later, he was there again. And he was like, "You remember me?" I go, "Yeah." "You ready for me to investigate that house yet?"
Yeah.
I keep it on my card. Of course, he never called, but it was cool. Like I said, it's just cool when people walk up to you.
Yeah.
Because I've been somewhere. I think Michael and I, we were at a Circle K, and we had our shirts on, and the lady was like, "You're a psychic medium?" She was like, "Yeah." You could tell she wanted to talk, but she didn't really have much. She didn't really say much at that time. But yeah. She had questions. Oh, you got to tell the cemetery story, Michael. Over at Liberty, the kids in the car. Remember?
Oh God, yeah. No. So we're investigating, and we're having a good time, and all of a sudden we see this car just start circling around. Like, oh God, looky loose. And so they come up, and they're like, "Is this cemetery haunted?" I'm like, "No." Newsflash: the dead don't haunt themselves. I said, technically no cemetery is haunted because they don't come out of their graves going boo, boo, boo. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth.
I know.
And they're just like,
when they first pulled up, they rolled down the window, was like, "Aren't you scared?" And we're like, "No, this is what we do."
You run towards the things that are moving in the dark, or like over there. For normal people in scary movies, they run the opposite way. We're like, "Nope, we're going over there."
That's what we're like, we're going in there. When people running out of
yeah,
I
towards it.
I ran
one right there.
one time, and it was when I was in high school. This is how I get involved with the paranormal. And I didn't know the extent of my gifts back then, but so I'm downstairs in the basement, and we have an organ, and I played, my grandmother played, my mom played, and all of a sudden I'm upstairs, I hear the organ starting to play a tune, and I'm like, I called my mom, I said, "The organ's playing." And she's like, "It's probably just your grandma. Just go to bed, cover your head, whatever." I was thinking that. It was unplugged. It was unplugged.
Oh, wow.
And Mom's like, "Why you bother me at work? It's probably just your grandmother. Just go to your room. I'll be home. Get over it." I'm like, "Oh, okay, so this is normal." And ever since then, I've like, okay, well, it's probably just a relative having a good time someplace, or somebody's relative. And that's kind of how I
somebody.
So back to the cemetery, this was hilarious because, like I said, it's like midnight. And those who don't know, the Liberty Cemetery is in the middle of Buckeye and out in the middle of nowhere. It's completely dark out there.
Yeah.
So they came from one entrance, they drove around to the other entrance, and they pulled up, and it was like 4 young adults probably 18, 19, 20. And so they came out of the car. It was like they wanted to ask some questions. So we were sitting there talking to them. One of the kids' phone rang, and Michael looked at him. She goes, "That's what, a family member." And he answered the phone, and it was his dad. So his dad had asked him, he had to ask him, he was like, "Well, where are you at?" And he goes, "We're at the cemetery." I was like, can you imagine what his response is? Cemetery in the middle of the night talking to a bunch of strangers.
But when I told him I was a family member, his eyes just went. He couldn't believe I knew that. I'm like, well, I am psychic.
Yeah, that was funny. I was like, yeah, so what your dad say? He probably like wondering what the, because one of the girls, she said that they were a little skeptical because they wanted to ask questions, but they were also afraid to ask questions because I don't know if they were afraid of the answers or what, but they was a little afraid. I'm like, no, it's fine. This is what we do. We go to places, and especially cemeteries. I love cemeteries.
Yeah, you get the most activity there. They want to talk and interact with you. They're lonely.
Exactly.
A lot of times they've been forgotten by their friends or their family, and they just want somebody to talk with them. They want validation. They're still there. And, like Johnny, when we go to the cemetery and we dance, and, he said that he couldn't drink. And now that he's dead, he's going to drink. So we always make sure to bring him liquor. And we put the little cat ball on top of the liquor, and the cat ball goes off, and you can see in the SLS that he's all on top of it trying to get to the liquor. And, then we have the music on. You can see him dancing and doing all kinds of stuff.
Funny.
And, he likes that stuff. And I said, here you are with all these ladies, because we're all just ladies, and kicking it with him and partying on a Saturday night. He has his liquor. And so every time we go, it's a hoot nanny up in there with him. So he has a lot of fun.
So Colleen went with me to an assessment for residential, and we didn't pick up anything when we first walked in. No, I take that back. When we were outside, because Eldon and I kind of thought of what might have been going on, so we didn't say anything to her, obviously, because we wanted to see what she was picking up. So outside the house, she said, "Why do I have a feeling that this is an end of life thing?" And that's exactly what he and I had thought, because this guy was like 90 pounds, and he's like 80 years old. But come to find out that he has throat cancer. So, and we didn't know that until we got there. So we sat at the table and we talked. I had a K2. That's the only thing I brought with me. I had a K2 and I put it on the table. And we were talking, and as Colleen was mentioning, she said, well, because he went into his daughter's bedroom one night. I think it was like the night before, 2 nights before we got there. He's like, "There's a ghost in my room." And she's like, "What?" He's like, "There's a ghost in my room." So he slept in the room with her. And Colleen told him, she was like, "It's your wife. Your wife is here." And he looked, he goes, "That bitch."
Oh, man. Okay.
So it was because of his cancer. She had his family was like rallying around him because it was her parents, her grandparents. So I guess they was rallying around him. Sure, go right ahead and ask her. What do you want to know? So yeah, that was actually pretty cool, and they were satisfied with our assessment, so they didn't feel a need for us to come back and do an investigation. But
we did another residential not too long ago, and it turned out that they did have a spirit there, but they also had extremely high levels of EMF coming off of all the lamps in their house. And this poor woman, she said she was being terrorized in bed at night. She felt something crawling up in the bed with her. She was being scratched and all this stuff. And she had one of those lamps sitting right on the nightstand right next to her head where she laid her head at night.
Oh, wow.
And we put the electrician's meter up to her and her husband's body.
Mm-hmm.
And it was extremely high levels of EMF coming off of even them, because their body was absorbing what was being emitted in the house.
Oh, wow.
So it was like this vicious cycle. So now they're trying to figure out how to overcome those challenges with the high levels of EMF in their house. They unplugged the lamp, and took it away from the nightstand, and a lot of the activity stopped for her in the bedroom.
Wow. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just asking her if that's her real name. Okay. Okay. Go. While I tune into this, go ahead and continue your conversation. I'll let you know.
So, yeah. What was I saying? Sorry. Oh, but you were talking about so yeah. So, like I said, they were, they were satisfied with that. And as Colleen was giving him, affirmation of what was going on, the K2 would light up. So that was cool. So it was kind of like, letting her know, yeah, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. This is what's going on. So that was pretty cool. But the funniest thing was when we left, because of course we don't charge people to do this, and we told him we don't charge. It's fine. He can't. He comes out of the house. I U-turn to go the other way. He comes out of the house. I'm thinking that he needs something else, right? So he walked. I rolled down the window. I was like, "Did you need something else?" And he walks up to the car and he's like, "I know you guys don't charge, but here." And he went to hand me some money. I was like, "No." He practically shoved it down my shirt as and walked away. It was a $50 bill. I'm like, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. But yeah, he just shoved it in my shirt and just walked away. I'm like, okay. But I told his daughter if she ever, she needed to talk or whatever, that she can give me a call. But I haven't heard back from them, so I guess they're doing okay. They're happy with what's going on, because I think right before a few months before we got there, that her neighbor across the street had died, and she thinks that they found some drugs in the system or something, but they think that somebody did that to him, because she was like, I've known him for a long time. This is, he never did drugs. Oh, okay. Okay. So, we're going to be wrapping up here in a minute. Week after next, I am having knee surgery, but I should still be able to be on by August. It's not like I got to get up and go anywhere for our August. We're going to have Terry on with the one that interviewed us on the 5th. Him and his crew is going to be on August 17th, I think.
Yeah.
I think. So I appreciate you guys coming on. Tell everybody where they can find you.
So cahalcrewparanormal.com is our website. You can find us on Facebook, Cahal Crew Paranormal, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. We're all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
And we actually do have merch now. So if you want to buy T-shirts, we're getting hats.
Oh, cool.
Hats are on order. We've got stickers. We've got koozies. We've got all kinds of stuff coming out.
Everyone
So
wants a koozie.
I like
everybody wants a koozie.
I like to light up the glow in the dark shirts. That was cool.
Yes. We've got the ghosts glow in the dark now.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna have to give you one of those. Yeah.
Oh.
What were you gonna say, Michael? Sorry.
Oh, I was got distracted from. No, our little logo with our guy with that would look cool in a glow in the dark T-shirt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you talking about the where is he? Do I have him?
Yeah, our earphone guy.
Him.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
I like that little ghost.
There he is up in the corner.
I like that little cartoon ghost.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to get with you to see who did that shirt for you guys. But that would be cool. I have to get them on.
Yeah.
Like I said, get them on the T-shirt. So does K-Dog do your guys' stuff, or you have somebody else?
No, K-Dog does it.
Oh, cool. I like him. He's cool.
Yes, I do too. He's phenomenal.
He did our family reunion shirts too. He's good. So
yes, he is.
Okay, guys, I appreciate it. Don't go anywhere, and then we'll talk afterwards. But thank you guys, everybody who joined us, and we will see you next month.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.